Hi guys, SwifTsYT here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of my FIFA 17 Bournemouth Career Mode series. This is Season 1, Episode 11, and if you have caught up on all the other episodes, you would realise that in Episode number 10 or 9, either which, I did mention that starting from Episode 11 onwards, until obviously I finish, I will be then reviewing the TV shows. Even though if you didn't catch it up, you would have seen it anyway in the title. It does state it's the Walking Dead review. I'm not sure if you can say TWD or the Walking Dead yet, depends, because it's a long title otherwise. But this will be Season 7 Episode 2, which is titled The Well Review. That'll be a bit later on in the video. First we're going to start off with some stuff in the game. So, first game, actually before I get into the first game, the Premier League top 6. After 7 games I believe we've played. Because I believe, I know, you'll see how many points we won. Right, I'll tell that in a minute actually. In first place is Tottenham, somehow, don't know how. Yeah, they got 17 points. Actually, it's after 8 games, I remember seeing 8 played. So yeah, Spurs have played, sorry, they've got 17 points, and at the top. In second and third are Chelsea, then Swansea, both with 14 points. And in 4th and 5th, yep, everyone's going to know this one, it's Arsenal. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Arsenal full, fucking hell. Middlesbrough in 5th with 13 points apiece. And sitting in 6th place is Bournemouth, so we're in 6th somehow. That does change after this first game, unfortunately. We dropped like 5 places. We don't actually lose points, let's put it like that. What am I saying anyway? So yeah, we're in 6th place with 12 points. We currently have got 3 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. Which is not too unrealistic at the start of the season for Bournemouth. Not even too unrealistic anyway, really, for any team. Well, besides Sunderland maybe, but that's besides the point. I think that's quite a good record to start with currently after 8 games. I think that's actually pretty decent. But yeah, that's the top 6. I also put in the bottom 6, mainly the factors of the teams that are in it. So in 15th are the previous year's champions, Leicester City, with 10 points. And you can see already how close it is. 15th is 10 points. I'm in 6th with 12 points. One win, let's say Leicester win, they could potentially go 4th. Obviously, if Arsenal and Middlesbrough both lost, that would be, and us. But in 16th place, this is one of the shockers. Or pretty much all of these are shockers, really, besides maybe 2. Manchester City are in 16th place with 9 points. Southampton are in 17th with 8 points. Again, another shocker. This one, potentially not a shocker, but it can be because they're in the first of the relegation spots. You'd expect them to be all higher up in the table, to be honest. West Bromwich with 5 points. So I'd expect them to be roughly where Manchester City are at the lowest, to be honest. This is probably going to be another shocker. In 19th place is Manchester United with 4 points. 4 points. I remember seeing they had 1 win, 1 draw, and fucking 6 losses. Okay, now. Imagine. 20th is Hull City. Yeah, again, this one is a bit controversial. They are in relegation battle in the actual season in real life, so they wouldn't be 20th. I don't know where the fuck Sunderland is in the table. Obviously, between the 8 teams we haven't mentioned. But yeah, Hull have got 3 points. And I mean, even if they got 1 win, they'd still be in relegation, but it's at the start of the season, in 8 games, anything changes. That's the top 6 and the bottom 6, and the team we're currently playing, so we're at the Bournemouth home stadium, whatever it's called, can't really remember. We're actually playing with league leaders of Tottenham. The team we threw out though today was Boric. We had Daniels on left back, Michael Keane and Funes Mori centre back partnership, and Hector Bellerin on the right. The 2 wingers we had Yannick Carrasco and Mikel Antonio, with Sermon coming in as a defensive midfield. Centre attacking mid, keeping this spot is Jack Wilshere, and up top with the partnership what's been there for a while but not really working very well is Wilson and Mbappe. Bloody hell. That's the first half of the game anyway. We'll start the review in probably about, I don't know, half a minute after we've mentioned the 2 half-time substitutions. But before we get into the half-time substitutions, I'll quickly mention why these videos are getting longer and longer. Now, if you remember when we first started the 2-game episode, even back to Southampton career mode last year on FIFA 16, although I did change that to 3 games an episode, so it ended up in like 24 minutes. But when it was only 3 games an episode, it was between, I don't know, 17.5 minutes and like just over 18 and 3/4 minutes. But recently it's been getting to the later stages of 19 minutes, and that is because I mentioned, I think in the last video, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned about the upload studio allowing to do 10 minutes behind the game instead of just 5 minutes. So we've started off the recordings a bit earlier on. Instead, if you look back a few episodes, you can see it start, well, not a few episodes, go back to before I started re-uploading some more videos. So I don't know, a couple of months ago, anything before episode 5 I believe it was, you'd see me start recording at minimum of probably 59 seconds into the game, but recently I've been starting it at first kick-off and just after the first kick of the second half, just so I can make them half-time substitutions which come on slightly after. That's why they're getting on to the later stages of the 19 minutes, potentially hooking round into the 20th minute. You're actually seeing the full length of the game instead of only, I don't know, 86 minutes. Anything can happen. Like, you missed a goal in the other game as well, when we lost 3-2 to whatever team that was. But yeah, the half-time substitutions we did make was bring on Max Wade for Jack Wilshere and bring on King, I can't remember his first name, I think it's Josh King, for Callum Wilson. That's his first appearance he had in a long time. Anyway, with the review then, it's been 6 minutes, so let's start it. So, The Walking Dead review, season 7, episode number 2. It's titled The Well. I've already gone through this, but basically, this video I'm going to end up saying Carol, Ezekiel and Morgan and probably the Kingdom a lot, because it's pretty much that's the episode. So we start off then, Carol and Morgan are being led somewhere. Obviously we don't, comic book fans would have known what it is straight away. Obviously I'm not really a comic book fan, but during season 6 I wasn't reading the comic books, so I haven't seen the last 4 comic books, I don't believe. I think the last comic book I actually read of it was the final part of issue 6 of 6 of the Whisperer War. Can't remember what issue overall that was, but it was that. So anyway, we'll start off now. They're being led somewhere. It'll come up in a few points probably. Carol, she faints, but gets awoken when she hears a bunch of shots and screams. Basically what it is a bunch of walkers that just appear out of nowhere, and the two guys who rescued them at the end of the first episode, at the end of the 6th season I should say, actually I think it was, and Morgan fight the zombies. I sound a bit French this time, don't I? Well, with how I'm saying it. Saying every 4 seconds, even though I'm reading off a sheet. Starting to get an headache as well, to be honest. But anyway, they fight the zombies off and Carol decides to run away. She gets up and run away without anyone looking. She sees an old woman in a window, but because of her symptoms of her just being out of the blood loss and shit like that and fainting, she sees an old woman, but it's actually a zombie. It transfers over. But that's in a house, so it doesn't really get to her or anything. And out of nowhere, more horsemen come along from this certain place, which I'll mention in 2 bullet points time, and save her, including Morgan Nays. She wakes up 2 days later within another community. This community is the Kingdom. So like I said, comic book fans would 100% know what that is, and we will be seeing the Kingdom quite a lot in the second half of the season. I think I'll be mentioning it. First half of the Walking Dead season, so from episode 1 to 8, it's not really used a lot. So yeah, where are we? Morgan takes Carol to see King Ezekiel, which is the leader of the group, just like Rick's the leader of Alexandria and Gregory's the leader of Hilltop currently. In the comic books it does change. Doesn't die, but it does change. Where are we again? I need to keep my finger somewhere. She doesn't just go to see King Ezekiel anyway. She also sees, she meets anyway, Jerry, which is Ezekiel's right-hand man, basically. Or the Jester, as the King would normally have. And Shiva, I should say, not a Shiva. Basically, what Shiva is a tiger. So yeah, pretty good editing out and shit like that. Talking of which, I will mention in episode 16 of the reviews of this, so the finale of The Walking Dead, something that's really bloody funny about the tiger. There's a picture, if you want to see it early, go to Chandler Riggs' Twitter account, which is Carl from The Walking Dead. If you look at his Twitter account, you will 100% know what one I'm on about. You just have to scroll through it a little bit and you'll find out what it was. Anyway, Carol goes back to acting like a new person and with like the innocence of not knowing what's going on and shit. Yeah, that's not... I really don't like it when Carol does that. She needs to be used as what a character she normally would be. Like, Season 5 Carol, when she freaking saved everyone from Terminus, that Carol is the best. That's what we need in Walking Dead life. If not, then we're fucked, basically. Now where are we again? I thought, to be honest, the way she acts to the king, it's a bit cringy, to be honest. It's not fun to watch when she's written to act like that. She's changed too much. I'd understand if she got her to act like the innocent she was when we first saw her in Season 1, when she was just always in control by Ed, which was her husband that died in like the 4th episode. But unfortunately, they made it look like a bit of a bitchy version. Carol's not actually alive in the comics either. Spoiler, sorry. Where are we again? Ooh. I've moved the finger I was using to keep track of where I was. Ezekiel and a small army of the kingdom. I don't know how many. I think it was 7 or 8 of them at the most. They head. There, nice reading. They herd some pigs together to eat zombies and shit. And we are into the second game in the background, the gameplay of FIFA. And that clearance, by the way, what went down and missed my player, I actually pressed through also Y on the Xbox controller and held my thumbstick up, and it was going to go to the right wing. I was going to make a run with it. But no, it passed it down and we conceded because of it. And I lost morale at this point. I was so pissed, and then you'll see what happens in the future. Yeah, they get some pigs to eat some zombies. You'll see why in a few points time of why that actually happens. Or however long. Ezekiel wants Morgan to train Benjamin, which is one of them in that army, that small army unit with the stick. It's basically, he's just a kid, but he wants him to be trained because I will mention this point again when we talk about someone that Ezekiel knew. Right, Carol takes a knife from a table when she steals some fresh. He acts all innocent again, and we're 2-0 down currently to Middlesbrough, which I was shocked with because we actually drew with Tottenham. And they had 5 goals conceded against them, and they had quite a few goals for them as well, so I was pretty sure we was going to lose that game. But anyway, she takes a knife and she fake cries so she can steal some fresh clothes off the table, and we all know what's coming next. We'll get into that in a bit as well. It's kind of a weird episode, this one, to be honest. I'm just dreading watching the next episode because I know what it is. I was putting The Walking Dead off for a little bit because I knew these next 2 episodes, episode 2 and 3, was just not the best to rewatch. That wasn't the most entertaining of episodes. Ezekiel, Jerry and Richard. Richard's one of the oarsmen rescued Carol the second time, I believe. They get Morgan and Benjamin to go on an adventure to meet the pigs. So they took them away when they fed them, and they never saw them again. And when they did, they was dead basically. They were skinned and shit and hung up. And the Saviours arrived. And if you don't know who the Saviours are, I will be surprised. They're Negan's men basically. We know who Negan is from the first episode. And he killed Glenn and Abraham. Fuck you, Negan. Oh well. I mean, he only killed one in the comics, which was Glenn as well. But Abraham passed his life from the comics, so it wasn't really the worst. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't score there. The shot was diabolical. The second one was a bit better. I'm joking, I don't know. I can't even remember the shot, to be honest. I just saw the good save, so I'd assume it was a shot. Anyway, where are we? And one of the Saviours fight Richard. It was pretty much an equal fight. Richard was just dodging everything, but there was no really mental scenes in it until Ezekiel was like, fuck you, no, stop it, put your weapons down. And basically gave one of the Saviours 3 hits on Richard, and then he had a nosebleed, unfortunately. I don't know why I say that, unfortunately. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Where are we again? I need to stop moving my finger. Where are we? I need to stop saying it. Where are we as well? The Saviours then say if there's not enough supply the next time they come to the meeting, there was enough pigs this time, but if there wasn't enough next time, any supplies, that what's his name, Richard will be the first one to die, which we'll be seeing future episodes. Not his death, but I don't know, his death could be in there, I don't know yet. get something to see with Not Enough. That's the one I was looking for. My mind just blanked out for a reason, for some reason. Where are we? And I said we need to stop saying that, and I didn't. Going for one of them phases where I just constantly say the same things. Right. Benjamin's dad died a year ago whilst assisting Ezekiel. That's why I said I'd re-mention it. Why he wants to be trained. Why Ezekiel wants Benjamin to be trained with a stick by Morgan. Wants him to become a fighter like his dad. He's one of the best, according to Benjamin, he's one of the best fighters there, and then he's dead, unfortunately. Morgan realises that Carol has left her room in the kingdom, doesn't know where she is. She hasn't fully left yet, because she then finds Ezekiel and Jerry at the gardens before leaving. Ezekiel basically has a massive conversation with her, and he knows about the crappy little sweet and innocent act that she's trying to pull off. Because he's kind of doing one himself to all of his followers, because they don't know what's out there. Like when they made that deal with the Saviours as well, the Saviours don't come to the kingdom like they do with Alexandria and the Hilltop. They go to a designated location. And yeah, so they've never been inside the kingdom. The Saviours don't even know that he's got a tiger. And now, Carol tells Ezekiel that he and the kingdom are a joke, and he basically tells her the story about people believing in him saving Shiva from an exhibit at the zoo as well. Carol finally, actually, after like 12 minutes of conversation, leaves the kingdom and goes that house where she saw that old woman earlier in the episode. She goes back there, kills the woman, starts making a house of a living space for herself. And the final thing we did see was Ezekiel visit Carol and just basically tells her she has to try her fruit. So that's pretty much that episode. It wasn't the best, but this season it was a bit patchy in episodes. Like some episodes didn't need to be there, but the episodes that were really fucking good, it made up for it. Talking about really fucking good episodes, season 8 of The Walking Dead. If you did read the comics, if you haven't, it's not a big deal. But if you have, you'll know there's a segment of issues or a section of issues what are called All Out War, which is again in 6 parts. That is at least the first half of season 8. So basically, season 8 episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 and 8 at minimum will be absolutely insane for action. It will be absolutely mental, and it's going to be freaking brilliant. We're all going to be going mental. Well, it better be anyway. If there's an episode that hasn't got a bit of action in it, I'm going to end up like killing someone. I'm going to have to. And this is just the Saviours anyway. Within the Saviours, in the comics, they deal with the Saviours and then the Whisperers come. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much on the Whisperers, besides they're basically zombies with knives. They're humans but with zombie skin over their head to make look zombies, and they stab everyone. Yeah, not fun. Unless you say Carl, can't say his name because I'm English, but Carl will find a love interest in a woman or a little girl called Linda. Linda, that's the wrong one. Sorry, Lydia. I haven't read the comics in a while. But we are into the second game, by the way. Now I've already mentioned that. Can't see the score because the little things at the top of Sunderland's there. 2-1 currently. We did pull one back. That was Callum Wilson with Funes Mori the assist. I was hoping we could get some more bits done, but because the video's going to end soon anyway, got a minute and 15 seconds, it will ruin the score. We do come back and we do draw 2-2. Unfortunately, it's another draw. That now puts us on 14 points. There's the equaliser. Quite a decent goal. Mbappe finally gets his first goal for the club. Callum Wilson assists it. Now, like I said, they weren't working out in a partnership before, and now they both got a goal, and Wilson got an assist. It's working out slightly. But I'm going to end the video here and go watch episode 3 of The Walking Dead again and note some shit down and get the commentary ready for that. I still got to do the gameplays as well, so if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel, which is on the 18th, because this is now every other day. I'm just going to start it from today, which is the 16th, but I did start it last week with episodes, whatever, the one will come out on the 8th, then the 10th, then the 12th, then the 14th, and then this one. Hopefully we can keep that going for a while. So anyway, thank you for watching, see you later, and have a nice day.
And the verdict on added time is 2 minutes. And in he goes with the tackle. That's an easy interception. The pass wasn't really a very thoughtful one.